Hello, my name is Meshach and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are building a powerful or an interesting dashboard. All right, so we are sitting in as a data analyst or business analyst for this particular company, which is Société Générale. It's a bank where this is where I used to work. Okay, and so this is more or less like my domain. And so the bank wants us to sit in as data analysts or business analysts and help them dissect this bank's data. All right, they want to understand some questions and want us to be able to answer some questions through our work as data analysts. All right, and so the bank is saying that it says the bank is making it clear. All right. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. This is what the bank was. If you've ever worked in a bank before, you know bankers, management, or people who work in a bank, they don't really have a lot of time. All right. So the bank is saying that they want to make this clear that they aren't interested in multiple page visuals. All right. They don't want a page a visualization with so many pages. No, they just want one page visual one page that should showcase all relevant visualizations. All right, so they can just quickly go in and play with the data set and understand it. All right, and so with this, the first thing that comes into mind, what I'll be looking at is essentially making use of how do you call it, float parameters. Okay, so I'll be making use of float parameters. Now you can choose to make use of any other one, but I think the float parameters in this particular case is something that I will really be making use of. And so if you look at the data set over here, I use float parameters. All right, we'll jump right into this soon. Okay, and these are some of the questions that the bank wants you to expose them to. Okay, so it says that it wants you to one, they want to know the overall total balance, customers, average total, and all of that. They also want to know to find out the balance distribution by gender, the balance distribution, additional details by state and job classification, age bracket details, how many people. So this is the questions that we've brainstormed, we've come to get our hands on as we looked at the data set. These are some of the questions that we would like to target, and these are some of the questions that after discussing with management they feel it would be relevant to showcase to them. All right, and so yes, this is what we're working with today, and be sure to, I believe, the data set down below. You can just download it and follow along as I take you through and guide you through, so that at the end of the day you can just add this to your portfolio, all right, or whatever. Okay, and so yes, if you are ready, let's jump right in. All right, so let's jump right in. I'll be using this as a guide. All right, and secondly, I've created all of my measures. Okay, I'm done with all my measures, but I'll show you just a few of my measures. All right, as we continue or as we start this dashboard building. Okay, so let's jump right in. And so looking at this, the first thing that we are going to do is to design our background. All right, that's the first thing, to design our background, and then we are going to give our dashboard a title. All right, these two things I never forget, and you shouldn't as well. Okay, so we are going to design our background, and then we are going to give our dashboard a title. All right, and so yeah, in design background I've already talked about. Okay, and so in designing our background, we are going to come right over here. Now I already have a video on how to design a background, so if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out as well. Okay, and we want our background to be black, so once we have that, we just it's 0, and then I'm going to go to our wallpaper. The wallpaper is what is down here and what you see on the side. So if I'm to come here and I show you, sorry, if I'm to show you from here, there is a wallpaper. All right, so this down here, you see. Okay, so that's what we are just doing. And so the wallpaper as well, I'm going to use the color black. All right, so our wallpaper is here. So once we are done with this, then we are going to go and give our page a title. Now you can give your page any title that you want. All right, you can give it any title that you want, but in this scenario I'm calling it Société General Bank Loan Analysis. All right, so this is it. So I'm going to just copy this. All right, because it's just a title. All right, I'm going to copy this, come here. All right, and then paste this, and then yeah, paste this, and then we are good to go. So this is my title. Alright, this is my title, but I didn't know how it's supposed to be, so I'm going to change the effect, there's a background, to black. Alright, so that you can see it, and let's put this in the middle. Alright, so yeah, so we are done with the background and we are done with the title. Okay, that was so quick. So I'll just underline this. It's underlined. Alright, So we are done with the title, and then we are done with the background. All right, we are done with the title and then with the background. So that is what we have over there. All right, so now the next step is to start answering our questions. So if I look at this, if I look at these questions and I'm using field parameters to answer these questions, and it simply means that if I look at this question 1, question 2, question 3, and maybe question 4, I'm not sure, we can just use field parameters to answer that straight ahead. All right, now I've already created my field parameters. Okay, so I have my measure field parameter, all right, which is this. Okay, and if you don't know what field parameters are, I have a video on field parameters. You can check that out as well. It's a very interesting video. Okay, that will help you understand what field parameters are and how exactly I prepared my field parameters. Okay, so I have my field parameters for the measures, because for the measures, what I'm saying is that I'm going to be needing, what am I going to be needing for my measures? I'm going to be needing the total bank loan balance. All right, I'm going to be needing the total customers and then average total bank loan. All right, so those are essentially my measures. All right, so you can see it right there. I have my total loan balance. All right, I have my average loan balance, and I have my total customers. All right, as my measure parameters. Okay, so this is my measure parameter. And then when I come down here to my most important parameters, so these are the slides that I like to show, because the instruction says that they don't want me to, prepare multiple pages. And so they want a visualization that can show a lot of details all at once. All right, a visualization that can just show a lot of details all at once. And they want to know the total balance by gender. They also want to know by state and job classification. They also want to know by age bracket. They also want to know by month. They want to know by house loan and other loans. They want to know a lot of things, but they are telling us that they just want it on one particular page. Okay, and so if you don't know how to use a field parameter, it's going to be really difficult to do this. All right, and so if you can see over here in this particular one, the field parameters give you the option to say, all right, if you want the total loan by gender, this is a total loan, all right, by gender. Okay, all right, so this is a total loan by gender. All right, so this is it. So you can just see your total loan by gender straight from here. And if you want the total loan by state, you can just say total loan again by state, and it shows that as well. And if you want total loan by loan default, you can just see that as well. All right, and just again, if you don't want the total, you want to find out the total customers. Okay, you can simply just come to total customers. We have it all over here, total customers by maybe gender. Forgive me for this, then for gender. I mean, I'm going to see that also just right there. All right, and this is all possible because of the field parameters. So let's jump right in. So I have this. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Okay, so like I said, if you haven't looked at my video on field parameters, please again, be sure to check that out. All right, so that you understand whatever that is going on over here. Okay, and so I already have my field parameters. So what I'm simply going to do is that I'm going to take my field parameter. All right, field parameter 1. I'm going to take this. All right, it's going to come off as slicer. Okay, so my field parameter, all right, so let me just go back, take this out, then drop it in again. All right, so this is my field parameter. Like I've said, you should know how to use field parameters. Okay, and to make it easy, I'm going to be leaving my field parameter video on top of this video. Okay, so you can just click on it and then go watch and then come continue. All right, so this is my first field parameter. All right, and then let me just select my second field parameter, which is going to be this. Okay, which is going to be this. So this is my second field parameter. All right, so now we just format this. Okay, so I'll go right in here and I'm just going to format this field parameter. Okay, I'm going to format this one, the first one. I'm going to say, all right, I want it like this, like so. It's fine. And my gap, all right, I want to close the gap. All right, the gap, there is a gap between this and this. It's too much, so I want to close it. Okay, I want to close it, so I do just that. And then once I'm done, I come to the callout and then I clean that as well. Now I'm doing this so that if you don't know how to, you just learn from this. Okay, so I holding this. Okay, so this is just formatting. I believe I've done a video on this as well. Okay, so formatting, we are doing our formatting. It's really nothing big, so we can just change this and say times New Roman 1 times New Roman. Okay, so we have our times New Roman. So now I'm going to go right here. Now I'm going to just do this. And then for the buttons, which is this buttons, all right, I need to change the colors. All right, I need to change the color background to black. Okay, and then I'm going to leave the borders, and let's do a little bit of, adding some accent bar, okay, to them. All right, so accent bar, I'm going to give this, I'm going to make this that's a red. All right, red. Yeah, that should be fine. Shouldn't be anything big. Okay, so now once we are done with this, I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the effect, which is the background for the entire thing, to black. All right, and I don't want the title for this. Okay, so you can see we don't see anything in there, so it means our call out. All right, we need to change the font style from black to red, and then we are done. All right, so this is our first parameter. All right, we are now creating our first parameter. All right, and so once we have this, we can just format printer and then do the same for this. Sorry, you can just go on this. Okay, come here, do the same for this. All right, the only difference is that with this, I want it in vertical format. All right, I don't want it in that horizontal format. And so what I'm going to do is there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. There are 8 items. All right, I'm changing this to 1. Okay, so that I can have all of this in a straight line. Okay, can have all of this in a straight line. So these are the various things that the bank wants to know. All right, so you can see we have gender, state, job classification, house loan, other loan, loan default, education, and month. These are all things in here that they want to know. They want to know the total distribution by gender. They want to know by state and job classification. They want to know by age bracket. They want to know by loan balance. All right, or if anyone has defaulted their loan, they want to know by month. All right, they want to know by house loan and other loans, and so on and so forth. So those are all the things that we've categorized and put them into one. All right, one parameter. Okay, or one one style. All right, let me just call it that. Okay, and so now what this simply means is that to find the total loan by gender, I can easily look it up. If I want to find the average loan by gender, I can also just look it up, or the total customers by gender, I can easily just look it up without having to go and then create different visualizations for them. Just one visualization can show the entire thing. All right, can show every single detail that we want from the combination of this and this. All right, and we don't even need a slicer, because I believe if you look at the question again, it says we don't need cars, so they just need you to segregate this info across relevant filters. All right, so they don't even need the cars. They don't want to make this thing just a whole lot cumbersome. All right, and so now once we are done with this, there should be a visualization. If you look at my full parameter video, there's always a visualization that you are going to use to showcase all of these analytics. All right, and the visualization could be anyone at all. You can use pie chart, you can use line chart, you can use the bar and the column chart, you can use a waterfall chart. It really doesn't matter which one you are using, but it should be able to tell a story. All right, and we've again talked about storytelling with visualizations in Power BI. You can also check that video out as well. Okay, and so the visualization I'm going to be using in this particular scenario, I don't think it will be this. I think I'll be using this. All right, so I'll be using this particular one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, bring it down here. So this is a visualization. All right, I have my visualization now. Okay, so this is a visualization, and now the visualization, when you have this visualization, normally you fill it with a y or an x-axis, but in this particular case we are going to fill the y and the x-axis with our parameters. All right, because we are relying our visualization on the parameters. We want the visualization should change and give results based on the parameters. That's why we're going to create these parameters. All right, so let's go in and do that. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to say, all right, this is my first parameter, and then this is my second parameter. All right, and so once we have this, one is going to be the y-axis, one is going to be the x-axis. Which one is going to be the y-axis, which one is going to be the x-axis? All right, and so yes, you do this. So in this particular, depending on the kind of visualization that you selected, all right, you see that it's behaving differently. Okay, so this is our visualization and this is it. Okay, so now I have my visualization. Okay, so if I want, what I can do is that just to, try it out and see if it's working. Let's say I want total loan balance by gender. So I'm going to click on or hit on total loan balance. All right. And then if I'm to select gender, you see that now it's giving me my total loan balance by gender. If I don't want the total loan balance by gender, but I want the total loan balance by state, if I select this, management is able to see the total loan balance by state without me having to create new visualizations. If I want for the house loan, what's the total loan balance for the people who either have a house loan or do not have a house loan? This is it. You can easily see this. Now, if I don't want for the total loan, but I want for the total customers, again, you can easily see this. Now, total people in total, okay, who have house loans are actually 2,259, okay, and those who do not have are 1,735. So it tells us that, all right, our visualization is doing what? Is working. So now what we can do is that we can go and format this visualization, all right, by clicking in and then going to format it. Okay, so it's easy to format this. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to format. It's just formatting, all right. It's not really serious. So just the normal formatting, all right. So we format this. And then I'm going to say, all right, so house loan, maybe I just don't want the title, all right, so I'm going to take that out. And then for the x axis, I don't want the title as well, so I'm just going to format the values, all right. I'm going to say, yeah, this and this. I think this one should be white, right? Okay, so yeah, and then we are going to go up here to the y-axis, back to the y-axis, and then let me change this color to white. Okay, change this to white. Then once I'm done, I'm going to see if there are any grid lines and tick them out. If I don't want any grid lines in my visualization, then we can turn on the zoom slider. It's just zoom slider. Then the bars is the columns, these bars in there. So I'm going to change the color and I'm going to make it red. All right. Okay. So this looks okay to me. And then we can put in some data labels. All right. The data labels, I want them inside. All right. If you want them outside, you are free to do that as well. All right. I want them inside. Okay, so once I have the data labels, all right, so now I have my data labels and everything is fine, but I need to change the background of this entire thing. So I'm going to come here to effects and I'm going to turn the background off so we can have this. All right, and then for the title, you need a title one way or the other, so I'm just going to format the title as well. Something simple, right? And then this, okay, then we can just align it in the middle. And voila, we have visualization and our measures completed. Now let's check it out. And that is it. That's fine. So in here we use the red colors for our fonts, but it really doesn't matter. Okay. So we have this. I want to let me make the heading a little big. All right. So the heading title, let's make it a little big. All right. So this looks fine. All right. And so yes, we are done with the first part of this. So yeah, we are done with the first part of this. One thing we can do again is that we can just put borders around this visualization. So let me just do that right away. I'm going to go here and I'm going to put borders around it. Okay, so visual border, and then I'm going to make this red. Okay, so visual border red. Right, let me just make it a little bigger so that if you come out here, you can see there are borders around it. All right, let me see if I did the same for this. All right, so you can see it right over there. So there are borders around all of them. Okay, so we have the borders, and then we can come here and do the same for this as well, and then give it the border. All right, give it borders, the visual borders. Right, then we change the color, we change it to red. Okay, then now we can do this, and then we do the same for the last one. All right, there is a visual border, then this should be red. All right, and then this. All right, now what you can see is that you see that it's changing from total loan balance. It has red. This has let me see, yeah. All right, so I think it's fine now. All right, so let's move on. So now we have our first visualization done and set. Okay, so let's take this all the way to the far right. So we are taking this all the way here, putting this here, putting this here down below it. Okay, and we have this. Yeah, good. So now we are done. Seems like with our first visualization. Now, what's the second thing? All right, so let's move on to the second question. So the second one is our age. All right, the age details. So if you look at the node that we have, tells us that the question first says we want us to find the age bracket details. All right, so you are supposed to find the age bracket details, and that's what you have over here. All right, so you just want to find the total loan balance by age bracket, the count of customers by age bracket, the average by age bracket. You know, like use our measures to use the age bracket to show our measures. All right, that's simply what it's talking about. And so in doing that as well, if you go in here to my measure table, what I did, I have everything. And so what I did with the age bracket is that because initially we only have age, okay, we only have age. All right, so let me show you. We only have age. So these are all the ages. So I use what we call the bin to group my ages. All right, I use bin to group my ages, to summarize my ages, all right, into bins. So everything from 0 to 9 is in the 10 bracket, everything from 10 to 90 is in the 20th bracket, everything from 20 to 29 is in the 30th bracket, like so. And I've talked a lot about bins as well in one of my videos. I'm not sure, I'll probably put the link also somewhere, maybe below at the end of the video. All right, and you can check it out. Okay, and so I used bins, I created bins to group my age. Okay, and so that's what you have over here. So now my age groupings, all right, or my age has been grouped, all right, into 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now this simply means that all ages from 0 to 9 is in here, and this simply means that all ages from 10 to 19 is in here, and this simply means that all ages from 20 to 29 is in here, and so on and so forth. All right, based on the bin size that I gave. Okay, so once we have that, all we simply need to do is that now we add our measures. Okay, so if you are not sure how to do your base, you can also use age bracket, the age function, to create your age bracket. All right, really doesn't matter, but I felt using the bin was a lot easier and faster, and that's why I use the bins. Okay, and like I said, you can check my video on bins out if you haven't checked that out already, or you are not so sure how to go about it or how to use it. You can check my video on bins, and it gives you a clear insight into what the bins are. All right, so let's jump right in. So now that I have this, I'm going to come to my measure table and add my measures. All right, and I've created my age details. All right, created visualization for my age details, and I'm going to be using the matrix to showcase this. All right, so come up here, then yeah, voila, not really anything difficult. Okay, so we are done. So we'll be formatting this as well. So let's jump right in. Hello. So if you made it up to this point, I just want to say, hey, thank you very much for giving my video a chance. And if you're enjoying this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. All right, if you haven't done that already, you really miss a lot to me. And don't forget to leave a comment down below if there's something that you'd like to add, or there's something that you don't understand, and I'll be sure to look at it and I'll revert back to you. Now, let's jump right back to the video. All right, so now let's format our next visualization of this matrix. Okay, our data, our age details, all right, visualization. Okay, so we are going to start, and I'm going to say, all right, so this all is just formatting. All right, this is just formatting, so you don't need to be so scared and afraid. All right, so this is just formatting. So what is it? This I'm going to go to my values section, and I want the text should be red. All right, and the background should be black. Excuse me, black. All right, and then I'm going to do the same for the alternate text color. All right, red, and the alternate background color should be black. All right, and so I'm going to go up here, and now I think I'm done with this. So column headers, I want them to be as well. The text should be red. All right, and the background should be black. Okay, be black like so. And I have this, and I have that. Okay, so that this in the rows, and it's going to follow the same procedure. All right, so yeah, this background color black. I wanted to do it myself. Okay, so yeah, let's remove the white. All right, the white background, let's remove it. and I can say that, what can I say? Okay, so now we need to remove this background and then expand this to fit. All right, and with that we are going to go to this is total. We are going to go to row grand total. All right, so our row grand total text should be red. All right, and then the background should be black. Okay, now background should be black. So now we have everything, and now we need to expand this, all right, to fit this particular visualization. So go to expand it a little bit. Yeah, and then I can see, all right, and then from here. So yeah, and maybe let's shift this a little bit. All right, so this is our second visualization. Let's not forget to keep our borders. All right, so visual border. Right, I'm going to say visual border should be red. All right, and yeah, good. Great. So this is our second visualization, which is showing the age details. Already showing total loan balance, total customers, average loan balance by the age. All right, or by the age bracket. And by the age bracket, we have it in we have the age in brackets. All right, using the bins. Okay, and so we have our second visualization, and this is our first visualization. All right, this is what is most important, but also requested for this. So we added this. Now the third thing that I want to say is that, so now we've answered this. We've answered this question all in one. All right. We've answered this one. We've answered this. And now the last question is what we are currently on. And it's saying that who are the top 10 people with the most loan balance? All right. So let's go in and show that. All right. So it says the top 10 people with the most loan balance. So we are talking loan balance, total loan balance. All right. We are talking this, and we are talking top 10 people. All right, we are talking top 10 people. So you are going to go and then get a look for the full name, which is the name of the people. All right, so this, all right, and we have it here, right over here. But the problem is that we just want for the top 10 people by loan balance. Okay, there's the top 10 people by loan balance. So we need to come right here to our filter, go to full name, and say, you know what, we don't want all of them, we just want top 10, all right, by loan balance. Okay, by loan. So we put this right here, and then we apply the filter, and we are going to get that. So voila. All right, so this is our top 10 people by loan balance. All right, top 10 people by loan balance. Then we use this visualization, was it called again, the tree map, all right, to showcase this. So once you have this, you can just go in and then choose our tree map. Excuse me, not here, not here, not yet. So this one, and then we are using the tree map, all right, to show this. Okay, so let's bring it down a little bit. Okay, so once we have this, we've answered the question as well. So this is the top 10 people with the most loan balance. All right, so all we need to do is now is to format the visualization. All right, so just as we've done for the others, we are going to format this, and with this we are going to choose red throughout. All right, red throughout, red throughout, red throughout. You can choose a different color. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like mine. Okay, and that's what makes this channel interesting, because I don't need you to make it exactly like mine. I need you to understand what I'm doing, and that's whatever thing that I do before I do a visualization project. I make sure I show you, or I take you through the steps and then after that, after we've understood the steps and how to do it, then we do a visualization project, so that you are free to add whatever that you want to add and do it your own way, as long as you understand what you are doing. You understand? Because if you go out right now for an interview, they are going to ask you how you did it. They are not going to ask you how I did it or how it was shown on YouTube, but how you did it. All right. And so let's learn to do things in a way that we can understand and explain in future. Okay, all right, so let's go right in. Grow levels, I'm going to leave it as so. So I'm going to remove this. All right, and then for the title, I'm going to leave it as so. I'm going to change this to white. All right, this. 18. And then voila, we are done with that as well. And so we forgot one thing, our borders, right? So I do hope you understood what I said, that it's important that you do it in your own way. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like mine, like how I'm doing it, but it should be exactly like how you want to do it. All right. When I first started out on this journey, I used to copy a whole lot. I wanted to do things exactly, but then after going for several interviews, I realized that a lot of people, just like me, copied everything and pasted, and we didn't really understand. It took a while for me to understand what I actually did. I had to, after everything, after doing the projects and all of that, I still had to go back, take visualizations. That was so easy to try to understand them, because I was doing projects, I was copying and pasting, but I wasn't really understanding what I was doing. All right, and that is not what I want for this particular channel. Okay, this particular channel, I need you to understand what you are doing. That is why I always say that if there's any question, be sure to leave that in the comment section below. I will attend to. If I need to make separate videos on it, even if it's going to be like a 2 minutes video for you to understand, I'll be sure to do that. I'm here for you guys. I just hope you trust me. Let me teach you this. That is all I want from you. All right, that is what I'm begging from you. And so yes, with the colors that we are using, you can decide you don't want yours to be Société Générale. All right, so I digress. The next thing that I'm adding is going to be the picture for Société Générale. All right, the picture for Société Générale, and with that we just come to insert and then go to pictures. All right, and then once we come to pictures, now it's changed, so don't forget. Now the Power BI has changed a few things, so you now have to come to pictures, go to browse, all right, and select your picture. So Société Générale picture, this one. So let's see, yeah, so this is a picture that I want, and so I have my picture in here. Again, I'm going to give it a borders, which is red. All right, and so like I was saying earlier, it does not necessarily have to be Société Générale. Maybe as we are doing it with Société Générale, you can decide to, the same data set, add a few layer things, and then decide to go with maybe EcoBank. Call your data set EcoBank data set. All right, or First Atlantic, or GCB, or Verizon. Anything to make it slightly different, so that when you go for interviews, they know that, oh, this is not something that is so much online. You probably added a few things to it, and you can explain those few things. All right, and that is what is important. All right, not really you copying the whole thing and not probably understanding what you are doing. All right, that is bogus. And so yes, I do believe that you've taken a few this advice. I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm pretty sure this is something that I will want for you. Okay, and so yes, this is our final dashboard. You can see everything is dynamic, like I explained earlier. So this entire thing even explains most of the things that they will want you to, or they want from you. All right, so it explains most of the things that they want from you. And so yes, I do hope you enjoyed this particular visualization. And before we even end this, I just want to put it out there that for this last few days, okay, before the year goes to an end, we will be tackling a whole lot of projects, all right, in Power BI, so that we are able to go into 2026 with that mindset that yes, we know what we are doing when it comes to Power BI, that we understand what we are doing when it comes to Power BI. I don't want you to enter Power BI still thinking about little things like this, because Power BI, because 2026 is going to be packed. You are going to be looking at a lot of SQL or SQL functions. All right, that's what 2026 is going to be about. Excuse me. And so you need to be able to grasp this so we can move on to the next level. All right, and so for the next 10 days, we are going to be having this is going to be a hackathon. All right, and we are going to continue like that. All right, is it the last 10 days? Nah, I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to be placing this video. So I'm making this video on the 22nd of November. So that is why I'm saying that. But I don't think this video is going to be the first video. Might be the second or the third video. I'm not entirely sure. But it's going to be part of the videos that I upload during the hackathon period, which is going to be the last 10 days, to enter 2026. And so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, like I always say. And like I always say, do well to take care of yourself, continue to practice and get perfect, at least if it's just 1% each day. And yeah, I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Bye.